Alright, so we're gonna go over the trades that I've taken this week. So um, yeah, this week another losing week. So last week I had a pretty bad week. Took a lot of back-to-back losses, and uh, this week is pretty much the same thing. It's just been a repeated cycle. So yeah, February's been pretty rough for me, especially after how well January went for me. I had an amazing January, great start to the year. February PA has been pretty rough here. So yeah, we'll start off on gold. So gold, and I can't lie, I'm actually pretty pissed I even took this one because this is an easy loss to avoid. So on gold, I was saying that we'll start off on a daily. I was saying on gold that after Friday's close, I was expecting price to come forward these equal highs here on the daily. It looked like because we had this order block, we traced into it, formed a propulsion block, and then we came into the propulsion block, and then we started expanding higher. So my bias, to be honest, on the daily, I was thinking it did look a bit consolidated, right? But because I was mainly looking at the 4-hour time frame, I was kind of thinking that okay, gold, because of how bullish this asset is, it's a trending. This is a trending asset. This is all these pushes lower are probably manipulations to go higher. So we inverse this 4-hour fair value gap on gold. We took out all of these lows here, and bear in mind this push down lower was inside that daily propulsion block. We also had this 4-hour fair value gap, expanded away, closed above the 4-hour fair value gap, and then we also formed a bullish 4-hour fair value gap at the same time. So what I did on Monday, I just decided to swing long it. I put my invalidation below the order block because we have 3 PD arrays here, right? 4-hour fair value gap, 4-hour inversion fair value gap, order block. So if we're anticipating Monday to be a continuation from Friday, then price shouldn't come all the way back down there. And then what happened was we just dumped past the 4-hour fair value gap, closed below, which is the first bad sign. But because we had the 4-hour order block, I was thinking we could still see a push up here, and we didn't get that push up. So yeah, I just went straight to SL, and at this point I realized that gold could be bearish here. Like, also the reason I did actually think about taking the long on gold was because on Monday we opened up with no wick to the upside. So this whole push down into the bullish key levels, to me I was thinking, okay, this is most likely manipulation. I'm just gonna blindly long this, and yeah, a long tier, and then my take profit, I would have gone break even at the highs because I was pretty sure we were gonna go for these highs. And then we had this 4-hour fair value gap resting inside of the premium, so that was my take profit area. And then yeah, probably as soon as we formed this 4-hour bearish BPR, I probably should have looked to close the trade there, to be honest. But to be honest, in my opinion, I shouldn't even taken this in the first place because this was a pretty shitty setup, and gold is in consolidation. So I could have saved myself an easy loss by waiting for some sort of lower time from confirmation from this area. So yeah, but yeah, went lower, stopped me out, took out the Friday lows, also the previous week low, and then pushed higher. And yeah, now it looks like we're headed back for these highs here. But yeah, first trade of the week was a loss on gold, and to be honest, I probably would have not even taken this trade if I didn't have such a bad week last week. So yeah, I think my poor psychology just got to me, and I kind of took a little bit of a FOMO trade. I mean, there was a bit of logic and reasoning behind it, but the setup was, like, if I'm being honest, this was pretty shitty setup. Prices in hindsight, this is just all in a range. So long inside of the middle of the range is just It's just a bit retarded. So first loss, that was a deserved loss. I should have not even taken that in the first place. Second loss of the week, I think, yep, it was EU longs. So so on the daily time frame, we had this order block here, we had this daily low here, and what happened was we saw price push all the way, remove all of this, we seen price push all the way down into that daily order block, and even still respecting this daily fair value gap, closed back inside the previous day's range. So I was expecting this to be low of the week, right? We even closed back inside the Monday range, so I was expecting Wednesday to be a continuation, not to come for the previous day low, and we have all of these buy side highs here as well. So that was my anticipation. So what I did was I basically took a low risk buy on euro, formed a 4-hour order block, and then if you scale down to the 1 hour, inside of that 4-hour order block we had this breaker, which I don't really like breakers that much. I prefer using the whole order block, but yeah, I mean, I don't even need to mark it out, but yeah, this is the breaker, this is the whole order block, and it was also a 4-hour order block. So we have multiple bullish key levels aligning here. So what I did was I waited for a low to get engineered here. We also had this small hourly fair value gap, and we had this inversion fair value gap also aligning with the bullish fair value gap. So I pretty much took like a tail sweep entry, Asia lows. I just longed below the Asia lows, and then my validation was all the way over here, and then my take profits were these highs and this high as well. So yeah, that was my trade that I took. And then what happened was, the first bad sign is that we closed below this hourly fair value gap and inversion fair value gap, and pretty much the breaker as well. So that was a bad sign. 4-hour also looked like shit, this 4-hour candle. So yeah, but I just held the trade, and I wanted to see if this was just a deep manipulation, because Euro GP was pushing hard lower on this day. So I was thinking, okay, this could be a potential just manipulation, a bit of a deep one. We still have this lower imbalance, which to be honest shouldn't even get tapped. This should have been left as a breakaway gap. But if we can displace higher here, then I will probably look to, you know, even take a entry on the lower time frame. So again, to be honest, the sweep entry, I think it wasn't too bad, but again, it's the low risk buy, so it's the riskiest trade to take inside of a market maker buy models. And then this is equal lows. Yeah, even this is equal lows on the SMT. So I don't know why I even took this trade, but we've seen a bit of displacement, right? We closed above this down close candle, retraced into it, and then we closed above these down close candles, forming a propulsion block, and then we formed a fair value. We inverse these fair value gaps, which is this is mainly my confirmation I was looking for. So yeah, once I seen that, I longed the retracement into the inversion fair value gap, put my stop loss at the low of the day, anticipating a London low of the day profile, and then my take profits were all of these highs. So this is my main TP level. Took that trade, and then the thing that I was mainly cautious about, which I didn't take into consideration before I got into the trade, is that we have these equal highs here, right? And this is the Asia and London highs, which is a significant liquidity pool, and price can reverse from. And what happened was, of course, we got above the fair value gaps here, the bearish ones, but we got above it so we can sweep the Asia highs, and then this pretty much baited me into longing. So we left equal highs here, retraced into the fair value gap, inversion fair value gap, which is where I longed, and then price pushed up one more time, swept the Asia highs, and then we displaced lower. And pretty much as soon as this 15-minute candle closed, formed a bearish order block, closed below the inversion fair value gaps, which I used to long, and this bullish fair value gap, I closed the trade for like a 0.5 hour loss, I think, around there. Closed that trade, and to be honest, at this point I probably even should have closed my swing position, because price on the hourly time frame is, we had a sweep inside this hourly bearish fair value gap, this hourly bearish order block, and we even still respecting this small hourly fair value gap here on a closing basis. So at that point I should have even closed my swing trades, but I closed after this hourly candle, closed below the lows, and also this imbalance as well, the breakaway gap. I closed my position here for 0.5 hour loss as well for the swing trade. So 2 losses here and 1 loss on gold. So pretty rough week so far. And yeah, at this point I realized, okay, yeah, we're definitely bearish on euro here. And to be honest, I was even considering taking a short inside of this hourly fair value gap, because with the context we have the sweep, hourly order flow is bearish, higher time frame is also bearish here, and we have these lows as a drawn liquidity. So I actually did have a limit at this fair value gap, but I did get front run here, didn't get my limit, and then price just dumped. So yeah, next day I tried to look for continuation as well, but I didn't like the setup here, because we're so close to these lows. We're in a deep discount from, you know, this swing high to this swing low. This is deep discount. You know, this high looks engineered to me. You know, you could easily come run this high up again with the news. But yeah, as soon as we formed this hourly order block, I was trying to get entry somewhere around here, and of course, you know, straight away price dumped, you know, without giving an entry. I tried to get entry some inside of this fair value gap. So miss entry here, loss here, no entry here, and then gold also the losses. So pretty poor week for me so far. And then what else did I take? I can't remember. Okay, I took some NQ trades, which were, oh yeah, an EJ. We're going to EJ first. So holy shit, yeah, this pair looks like pure cancer. So I think after this, I think I'm actually done with exotic pairs, because this has just been cooking me. So the last week I had longs from here, from around my TP reversed, and then to be the bias became obvious that we have these equal lows here as a drawn liquidity, monthly fair value gap, these equal lows as well. So yeah, on an intraday basis, this is my intraday target. And then if we get close below here, then we got these higher time frame targets as my drawn liquidity. We came into this fair value gap on the daily, swept the previous day high, and so this to me is like a 4-hour AMD accumulation manipulation. So it's like a range deviation accumulation inside of the bearish key level. So at this point, closed back inside of the range, closed this at this point, this is a BPR, right? Because this is all balance, all buyers and sellers, you know. At that point we formed that hourly BPR, we formed this 4-hour order block. So at this point I was like, okay, fuck it, let me take a lower sell entry here. So yeah, to be honest, at this point I think I'm gonna actually start journaling my win rate on lower sells, because they, like, I think recently I've been taking a few lower sells and I've just been taking losses on those. But yeah, quickly go over it. It's in on the higher time frames, this looked pretty clean to me. We had the range deviation inside of the daily fair value gap. So daily order flow is bearish, hourly order flow has flipped bearish. And then I was gonna long this hourly fair value gap, but to be honest, because we swept this low right here, I wanted to see if this was a potential stop run or if we were gonna go lower from here. So I seen that we came into this hourly fair value gap, and then we had this hourly bearish close. So to me, I was thinking, okay, we might just sell off from here straight away, heading into London close. So like, okay, cool, I'll just enter here with a wide stop. Obviously I don't want to put my stop loss here, so I put my stop loss above the hourly fair value gap and the BPR, right, because you don't want to see price to come all the way back up here if we're bearish. So put my invalidation here, and then my TP was obviously the equal lows, and then we consolidate heading into the daily close. So at this point I was thinking, okay, we're probably gonna run this high out and then we could get a sell off here. So what I did was I closed my position in on the next day because it gave me the opportunity. Yeah, somewhere around here I managed to close my position around break even, and then I just looked for a re-entry here, if we can sweep this high and then sell off. So yeah, what I did was I was watching this in Asia because I got some shit sleep pattern and I was up for it. So if we swept this high and then sold off, I would have taken a re-entry. And then what we did was, and to be honest, I think I shouldn't even be trading exotics on a 15-minute time frame. We swept the high inside of the hourly BPR, and then we formed this, we inverted this fair value gap, pretty choppy PA, but we inverted this fair value gap. So what I did was I shorted here, invalidation at this high, and then my TP was all the way down here for a 6-hour trade. Went to sleep, and then I woke up just while price was dumping here, right? So it looked pretty good at this point. While I was in this trade, we formed this hourly OB, right? It looks a bit choppy now, but at the time it was looking pretty good. We had this hourly OB came into the hourly OB, and then we closed below these two down close candles. So this was now the propulsion block. Not the most convincing close below, especially because look how wicky this is, but we had a close below. We formed this propulsion block. So I was thinking, okay, we might just absolutely tank it here. And then at the same time, we had the Asia lows here, which price ran, which is what cooked my trade here, because I was positioned somewhere around here. So the price came, so the Asia lows, and then just reversed in one candle, and then stopped me out. So yeah, to be honest, this one was a bit riskier of a trade, because you know, price is just consolidating inside of the OB, and the propulsion block is not showing any displacement. And to be honest, I didn't really have the opportunity to close after I realized prices were rejecting off of the Asia lows here. I probably should have waited for more displacement. Say we, you know, close below the Asia lows, close somewhere down here, and then form like an hourly fair value gap, for example. Then I could have taken this and then put my validation all the way up here, and then this would have been a way better trade to take. But again, I saw the risk to reward was a 6-hour trade, and we formed a propulsion block and an order block. So I was like, okay, this is probably worth to take the risk. And then if we close somewhere around here, then I'm already positioned from here. So yeah, typical exotic behavior, just consolidating inside of the range now. And yeah, this pair looks like pure shit now. If we sweep the highs, because now we basically have equal highs here, say we, you know, sweep the highs here, and then you know, then we start to sell off here, then I would look for like an entry somewhere around here, for re-entry. But yeah, that was the EJ trade. And then we'll go on to NQ. So EJ loss, €2 losses, gold loss, so pretty rough week for me so far. And then NQ would be the last trade of the week. I had 2 trades on NQ. So again, I was positioned from here, but then I closed my trade for partial loss, and it just absolutely dumped. So I was saying in the weekly outlook that my high time frame draw is these equal lows here for NQ. We have these daily equal lows here, and We have this daily fair value gap. So if we get some sort of confirmation from here, then I'll look to go short. And we just accumulated, and then we had a sweep of the range highs into that daily fair value gap, and then we saw some displacement. So here I didn't take the lowest sell because, again, look how we closed below this inversion fair value gap, which was the key level I used to go short, but price is super choppy here. Not really the most convincing top here. So I waited for price to engineer high and then use that to go short. So we had the Asia highs here. There it is, Asia highs. We swept there in London and then displaced lower, closed below these down upclose candles forming an order block. Pretty much the same trade I took on Egypt, right? Daily fair value gap, displacement, Audi key level, sweep into the Audi key level, and then form the order block. So I shorted here. The same logic on NQ, daily fair value gap, Audi key level, sweep at the Audi key level, displacement. So I shorted here, validation here, and then my take profit was this low here for 5-hour trade. And yeah, this if we took out these lows, this is my break even level. So I didn't go break even here because price could, you know, retrace up into these hourly fair value gaps and then sell off. So I didn't go break even there. So also on a 15-minute time frame, had the London high the day formation, displaced lower, formed this 15-minute fair value gap. But to be honest, I just shorted the next hourly open high low close anyway. I didn't wait for the fair value gap in case I'll get front run, which would have happened. So frankly, I didn't do that anyway. So I shorted here, displaced lower, and it looks really good. And then price consolidated heading into the 9 a.m. 9:30 equity open, pushed higher into the fair value gap, and you could just see how choppy price action is here, right? Super choppy. Engine at this high, swept the high, displaced lower, formed this 15-minute order block, and then at this point I was convinced that price would at least take out these equal lows, and then we took out the equal lows here, and then price went all the way back up heading into the daily close. So we swept the low, formed this order block, retraced into it, formed this propulsion block. So at this point I closed my trade around here for like a 0.2 profit or some shit, and then yeah, would have got stopped at break even, and then price, you know, came for one more manipulation. And then at this point I was considering taking an entry here, but again it was too like price. Again, when I was looking at this, I was thinking, okay, price looks so rangy right now, I don't want to take a 15-minute confirmation after sweeping this high. So I waited for hourly displacement instead, formed this hourly fair value gap, and then I pretty much top ticked the entry, right? We had this 5-minute high which I souped instead of the hourly fair value gap, and then validation there, TP all the way here for a 3-hour trade. And then what happened was at pre 9:30 we saw this massive displacement lower. I think this was the news event, so 8:30 news dumped. We took out all of these lows that were stacked up on NQ, all of these low resistant lows, and we didn't get that push towards these lows, which is my take profit. Push lower, swept this low, and then on 9:30 we had this massive reversal, and at this point I should have gone break even. I don't know why I didn't. I was kind of thinking, okay, price this might be a manipulation to come into this fair value gap and then go lower. But I quickly realized, okay, I'm definitely wrong on this idea, and this looked like the low of the day formation, right? Price is in a range, sweep not the range lows, but we swept liquidity inside of the range, and then now we're just going higher. So yeah, at this point, once I seen this 15-minute candle close, I closed at this next 15-minute candle when it was forming, and I pretty much took a 0.4R loss on this trade instead of a break even, which I should have taken on this trade. So yeah, pretty horrific week. And if you just look at the daily candle and all the trades I've taken, Daily candle looks horrific on NQ. Daily looks horrific on gold. It's just consolidation. So I pretty much got caught in consolidation profiles for all of the trades that I've taken except euro. I mean, this also kind of looks like a range here, but yeah, this day I was just wrong on the daily bias. This day missed my entry, but ended up as a consolidation profile anyway. And then EJ just ended up as a consolidation profile as well. Inside candle on currently on the day, and we got like a few hours until the weekly candle closes anyway. So yeah, pretty sure week for me. Probably, to be honest, the whole month has been pretty poor for me, but also like I don't want to blame it on the price action, because you know I put myself in that position to entertain trades inside of this price action. But yeah, while price action is, you know, in these poor conditions, I should, you know, try to take it a bit slower. So I think next week I'm gonna really try and limit the amount of trades that I take, and really just focus on my execution. So, you know, any telltale signs of a potential seek and destroy profile, I'm out of the trade, or I'm not even gonna be in a trade. You know, when prices are like, you know, was trending like this, or you know, clear one-way direction, then you know I could be a bit more aggressive with my trade setups. But you know, in these kind of conditions where price is just moving like pure shit, you know, especially on NQ. This, I don't even think I'm going to trade NQ anymore because of how consolidated this range is. This is not worth the headache right now. But yeah, I'm gonna try to be more conservative and focus on, you know, taking better shots heading into the end of the month, so I don't have an even worse month that I'm currently having. So yeah, we'll just end it here.